Hello and welcome to the Chief Executive's Update. My name's Dr. Paul Harrison and I'm the Acting Chief Executive of the Trust. The first thing I want to say is a big thank you to all of our staff for their hard work and extra effort over the last couple of months. I'm proud to work with such a dedicated group of professionals who continually go that extra mile for our patients. I hope that as many staff as possible get to hear this message of thanks and appreciation. Especially junior doctors who, because they are often not with us for very long, don't always get to hear that they are deeply appreciated. As I hope most of you know now, our new Chief Exec, Diane Wake, will join us in April, so this will be my last CEO update. I'm grateful to all of our staff who have helped me carry out the Acting CEO role for the last few months. I never cease to be amazed by the acts of kindness and dedication from our staff, and it continues to be a privilege to work with them. Diane, our new CEO, comes from a nursing background and she is currently Chief Executive at Barnsley Hospital NHS Foundation Trust. I know she will be meeting as many of our staff as possible over the coming months, and I'm sure you would want to join me in wishing her a warm welcome to Dudley. Each of these video updates throws the spotlight on a different department to give you an exclusive look behind the scenes. This time we are visiting our day surgery unit, but more about that later. As you know, the NHS has a set of standards that aim to help us provide the best patient care within timelines. Despite the pressures over the last few months, our overall performance against key standards continues to be good. For example, we should make sure that patients referred by their GP get treated within 18 weeks. We continue to exceed this, and at the end of January, 94.2% of the 17,000 patients this standard applied to were treated in time. In common with the rest of England, we have faced significant pressure over the last few months meeting the A&E standard to see, treat, admit or discharge at least 95% of patients within 4 hours of arrival. But we continue to perform well against this standard compared to trusts both locally and nationally. We also continue to perform well against the standard of treating patients with cancer within 62 days of their GP referral. Once again, I would like to personally thank all our fantastic staff who are working very hard in these challenging times to provide our patients safe, high-quality care. In order to have the resources to invest in and develop our services, it is important that we keep our finances in order. Almost every week there is something in the news about the state of the NHS finances, and there is no doubt that it's been a very challenging year for us. However, we are confident that we will achieve our financial plan and so have resources available to improve services for our patients. We continue to work with our clinical commissioning group and primary care colleagues on the Vanguard MCP development. We are actively bidding to take a lead role in this exciting development for Dudley. The aim of the MCP is to improve services for patients and, where possible, deliver care closer to home. We are also working hard with other partners across the Black Country, within the Black Country Alliance and beyond, to collaborate on both clinical services and making the best use of our resources. It is really important to continue improving our services based on what our patients say. One of the best ways they can help is by completing the Friends and Family test to tell us what they think. Patients who attend our emergency department can now take part in the Friends and Family test by text. We plan to roll this option out to other areas of the Trust in the near future. Our annual staff awards take place on the 16th of March 2017, hosted by BBC newsreader Nicholas Owen. The awards are a thank you to all our hard-working staff and are only made possible through the generous support of our sponsors who provide the funding. Check out our Facebook page or website for a full list of this year's finalists. We've recently signed a contract to deliver a complete digital patient record system. There are many benefits, including the capability to share records with patients, their GPs and others responsible for looking after them. We're investing $32 million over the next 10 years. This is the biggest investment in IT systems the Trust has ever made, and it's an exciting development for everyone. It will transform us into a digital trust and revolutionise the way we work, delivering more efficient and safer clinical care. This will enable us to spend money on frontline services and free up more time for us to spend with patients. I am thrilled that 2 of our services have been shortlisted in the Health Service Journal's Value in Healthcare Awards. Our interventional radiology service, which is a collaboration between Dudley, Wolverhampton, Walsall and Sandwell hospitals, is shortlisted in the acute service redesign category. Our day surgery unit is shortlisted in the category of improving the value of surgical services. And I will now hand you over to Senior Staff Nurse Wayne Parton, who will tell you more about the day surgery unit.
So we're currently standing in the reception area for day case surgery. This is where the patients will arrive and report to reception. Before 2014, when we made the changes at Russell's Hall Day Surgery, the area that we now use for admissions was actually a trolleyed area with 6 trolleys in. So we had a maximum of 6 patients we could have in there at any one time. We've now replaced those trolleys with chairs, and we can bring in upwards of 20 patients now. Patients will stay in their own clothing. We will take them from the comfortable chairs and do their admission along the back wall of the area, where we have curtains individually for the little bays that we have there to give us some privacy. We will run through their admission paperwork and do all of the formal admission, but then they'll return to their seats and sit amongst their peers. And what we find is that we have a lot of conversations between the patients. It seems to help to relax some of the tension that we can have when we're sitting waiting to have a procedure. We will always ask a patient to fill out one of our friends and family tests. What that gives us is some direct feedback to how they feel they've been cared for, and gives us pointers to how we might change in the future. We've changed the chairs that are in our admissions lounge so they're bigger and more comfortable for the majority of people. We have a pager system that we have implemented so that patients, as they're in their own clothes, can actually go for a walk around within the hospital, and we can page them to come back up just prior to them going to theatre so we can get them changed. As part of the changes that we've made at Russell's Hall Day Case Unit, we take patients from main theatres as well now. These are patients that previously would have been admitted to an acute ward within the Trust.
Our emergency work here at Dudley Group, our emergency surgical work has increased by 75%, and we now see 1,200 patients a month on the surgical assessment unit. Because of this, it means that our bed base for elective work has reduced because the emergency patients need it. So the work that's going through day case is phenomenal really. So our elective patients that we normally couldn't allocate a bed, day case can take, and the patients get their operations and get sent home the same day, which is much better for patient experience.
2008, 2009, I had virtually the same procedure done, but it was an overnight stay. But I thought this was a better experience this time. But when I woke up from the anaesthetic, because I was scared like, I remember holding my hand out on the trolley, and one of the nurses grabbed my hand, and I felt ever so reassured when that happened. I was then taken onto the unit. Within a few hours I'd been discharged.
Day case unit can be very, very busy. It can be very, very crowded. And obviously there are lots of people there who are a little anxious themselves, and people who have autism can often pick up on those anxieties. Sarah's changes to the unit have been revolutionary really. So many adjustments have been made to the care that we do. For some of the people that we work with autism particularly, the team members meet people outside in a more quiet entrance and walk upstairs, a very quiet set of stairs, through the corridor and into the back entrance of theatres, straight into the anaesthetic room, without anyone really putting any demands on those very complex, challenging people.
I needed pain management for some disc problems and a trapped nerve. My doctor's surgery applied here, and I was seen within 2 months. That was the 18th of December, Dr. Tameen, and then within a further 2 months, 8 weeks, I'd got this appointment for today, the 28th of February, to have the procedure done, an injection for pain management. So I'm absolutely over the moon with the service that I've had here and the treatment. It's been fabulous, really efficient and fast. Apparently, to get patients through the system faster, they've started doing weekend clinics as well, which is what I had my initial assessment on a weekend clinic, and it's just made the whole process so much faster. I mean, it's far better to wait 4 months than 9 months. So, you know, when you're in pain, you want to be seen as quick as possible. So I'll be forever in debt to this hospital. That's all I can say.
I hope you enjoyed watching our focus on the day surgery unit. If there's any other areas of the Trust that you'd like to see featured in future updates, then please do get in touch with us. Thank you very much for watching.